500 subscribers is unreal, and I'm going to get all mushy and tell you all about it. But I figured maybe I'll put that at the end of the special, and we'll get right to the fun stuff. But seriously, thank you. And without further ado, what better way to reward the subscribers of a horror story channel than with not a horror story? And what better way to celebrate friendship than by making fun of a dear, dear friend? So, naturally, I challenged Jar 19 to a poetry battle. Oh, is that a beat? Oh, don't worry about that, Jar. It's just a poetry battle. Greetings, friends. Baron here. You know I like to keep it mellow. But today I'm here to match wits with a pompous bowl of jello. Jar 19, hello old chum, though it really is a shame. I heard the SCP labeled you object class lame. In every city, in every country, I've talked to all of the holders. Everyone agreed you don't have a head on your shoulders. You think you're top shelf, but you'll have to aim higher. Ask any dirty peasant, I've been known to spit fire.
So a challenger appears. I must say it's been a while, though when it comes to adversaries, I prefer them with more style. You were once a mortal man most historians wouldn't rate. The 1500s born and bred, my word you're out of date. But as to your challenge, sir, your mockery falls flat. Though what else to be expected from a dusty old aristocrat? Now through this inverse battle, I assure I do not revel. It's true I may not have a mouth, but I'm a silver-tongued devil.
Shall I compare thee to the matter grey? Perhaps not. Any errant neuron is surely just a stray. If Jar 19 is blabbering on, creating noise pollution, to dump him out and flush him down is a salient solution. I feel sorry for the scientists that dedicated their lives, but this is their best after 18 tries. You've met the most terrible fate since Ben drowned in Saria, the most disappointing narrator since Lady Spookaria.
Yes, now things are heating up. That's what I like to see. Even if it's just the ramblings from some senile bourgeoisie. He married into wealth and rules a dreary sodden rock, the perfect place for such a man who comes from lower stock. He prides himself on status as being so refined. I find more class and intellect from my mutant rodent swine. I should not be too harsh, I guess, but I'm not sure which is worse. Being Baron of Nowhere, or his sad attempts at verse.
Oh, well done. Bravo. Inspired. Is there a date on this jar? He smells a bit expired. These aren't my best rhymes, I keep those in reserve. Of course you're keeping well. You live like a preserve. Are we all brains in jars? Is a crisis existential? At least you can be content, you're for sure inconsequential. Try to take it in your stride as I land a few more hits. You've scored 0 out of 5 in your guide to survive this.
I have no nose to sense the smell that's caught the Baron's fears, though perhaps the man should change his pants more than once 500 years. He claims he saves his greatest work for my betters, and as such, I fear perhaps the Baron may doth protest too much. We could all be brains in jars, attuned to tests and probes, but I fear, my friend, that I must say, he simply doesn't have the lobes. Go ahead and take more shots at the greatest mind in all the lands, but do be careful, my old chum, to protect those dainty withered hands.
My hands are perfectly proportionate to the size of my rapier. Poor form, Jar, it's just a little bit cold in here. I keep my blade sharp for fools who front on me, and you're a prime candidate for a full-on lobotomy. I planned to cast you in my dungeon with some other arisen, so imagine my surprise when you brought your own prison. But don't go belly up, it was a really nice try. Let's see what else you've got. Good luck, and don't die.
Oh, of course it is the cold. Such excuses you create. Plus a rapier at your side, how much you have to compensate. To resort so fast to violence is the first sign of an oath, and even cut to ribbons, I've enough brains for us both. Dungeons, swords, well goodness me, so many upgrades incomplete, to still be trapped in ghostly form like a crusty talking sheet. It seems your quips are all in vain, though you try with all your might. Do carry on, you can probably handle another verbal thrashing, right?
Listen up, class, take down this new recipe. The first ingredient is an absolute necessity. Locate a fresh brain, mash the stem into paste. Be careful of the lobes, the mind's a terrible thing to waste. String the rest out long and thin, heat up the brine, add the rolled up matter, it'll turn out divine. Don't watch it as it boils so that it can finish faster. Now if only jar was scary, we could call it creepypasta.
Oh, a teacher are we now? Pop your coats up on the pegs. This will be the Baron's class, teaching Granny to suck eggs. A fine recipe indeed, I'll give it to the bloke, though I worry for his finish, as I know he's bound to choke. A funny choice of tutor, from a list of many sages. I'd have probably picked someone not from the Middle Ages. Well, thank you, Baron, I suppose, for that dull and fruitless class. And if you don't like my critique, well, you can always kiss my glass.
Oh, what a laugh. Gives my spectral ribs a tickle. At least there's some kick to this mouthy little pickle. I've been bored for centuries, but this conversation is real strife. But I guess it's hard to make sense when you're living that shelf life. Your fans may cry and shout, call me despicable, but deep down, they know your takes are not applicable. I'll be on my way now. Peasants are slightly less absurd. It was almost fun, Jar. You have the last word.
Well, bringing joy is one of many traits I cannot hide. Bringing life to those I find are truly dead inside. Indeed, it's been a time, that's clear, from your Jane Austen apparel. I'd rather be atop the shelf than at the bottom of the barrel. Oh, my fans, they're all too good, a mighty fine brain trust. With thicker skin, if I might add, than your faded phantom husk. Enjoy your peasants as you will, and some peace while you are gone. For we both know, O Baron Sir, that this war, it rages on.
$500 subscribers. It's amazing. And I can't tell you how grateful I am to the folks that come out to listen to me tell stories. Especially the wise people that will likely soon appear down there in the comments. You guys seriously light a fire under me that keeps me going. And I also can't forget that there's likely people out there that will never say a word. And like I used to, will just enjoy stories silently to themselves. But please know that I know you're there, and I'm really glad you like them. There are now so many narrators that have had a huge impact on me that I can no longer list them all without this becoming super boring. But if you ever care to know a good chunk of them, the featured channels on the front page thingy features the people that I am internally indebted to because they have been on my channel. It's really nice knowing that there's people out there I can trust and have my back, and at the drop of a hat I most certainly have theirs. When I started out, I rather quixotically wanted to keep the writer in the forefront. But the more people I contact, and as I come to know some writers pretty well, I'd like to think, and as I gain insight into their side of things by writing a few stories myself and having people contact me, it turns out that earnestness that I initially set out with it hasn't changed. It's more solid. I knew that I always should give the proper deference to writers, but now I know why. Anyway, 5 seconds in, bringing down the special. I've probably said it before, and I'll definitely say it again. The writers are the starting point for the genre that we all love. And someday I hope I can help give them what they deserve. It wasn't that's not as threatening as I meant it to be. One day I hope they get what they deserve. Not quite. I should also thank my darling Baroness for letting me disappear for hours and hours on end. I forgot to mention the artists, like Fleshwad, who made me actually look like something. And the music you're listening to right now by the talented Tanner Stokes. I try and get a little bit better every time. Even right now, I'm doing something different, which is probably foolish, but we'll see how it turns out. When I get permission to do these stories, I really want to put on a good show. Thank you for growing with me and sticking around. And, if at all possible, scaring the writer with their own story has become something of a high watermark.